Hey everyone, it's Nicole. So I didn't get to post my video from the other day because we had a little configuring to do, okay? But I really believe God had me wait to share what I wanted to share with you originally because I was rereading it again yesterday and it just kind of all connected with everything that was kind of presented to me with, not being on Facebook any longer and, already kind of knowing that was coming, but it kind of happened suddenly, right? So I was reading in Psalms the other day, and this was before, anything happened with Facebook and that whole thing, right? And I was just reading. So what I do is I try to read at least 1 to 2 Psalms a day. I just like to do that. And I have started reading. I'm doing reading the Bible through in a year, just because I have never really done that from beginning to end. So it's just something I personally have wanted to do. So you'll realize that when you're reading Psalms, a lot of it, for me, where I am right now, I'm in the book of Exodus. So what I was reading in Psalms kind of went right along with where I am in Exodus right now. But guys, if you've never read the book of Exodus, I mean, obviously in Genesis too, but the things God can show you in that book about complaining and wondering why he's not doing anything, even though he continually shows that he's always there and always providing and always delivering, and yet they're still complaining. And it's really good. I would suggest that you get into that book and ask the Holy Spirit to show you how it applies to you and maybe anything you're going through, right? So the other day, I'm going to kind of show you how these two scriptures connect. But I was reading in Psalm 77, and verse 19, this literally just popped off the page to me. And I pray that you see what it's saying here, because I'm going to try to explain it the best that I can, how the Holy Spirit was showing it to me, but ask the Holy Spirit to show this to you, to make it a revelation to you, because that's what happened to me. I wasn't really reading this other than to just read it. I was just reading. And it says, your way was in the sea, your path in the great waters, and your footsteps were not known. So this is David, okay? This is David talking to God and almost realizing, wait a second. He's talking about Moses bringing the Israelites through to the promised land, right? Delivering them out of Egypt. And it was almost like he sat back and he was like, wait a second. Your way, the way that you planned for them, the whole good thing that you had for them was in the sea. It was in the sea. The thing that looked so frightening to them, the thing that looked like it could consume them and kill them and stop any good thing from happening, your way, God, was in that sea. Now, God didn't, prepare a problem for them to then, carry out his plan. But God's plan can be carried out even in the thing that seems like it would be the least probable or obvious thing that could bring, in this case, freedom, right? Or, justice or whatever it is but it was in the sea that God's plan was to be unraveled, so to speak. It was in the great waters. The great waters, the thing that could, like I said, seem like it's just consuming you and seem like it's too big for you and seeming how could anything good come from this? God, where are you right now in this? Where are you? Well, that's where his plan was. And it says your footsteps were not known. He didn't say to them, okay, ready guys now. Moses is going to part the sea. the sea's gonna part, okay? Then the dry ground is gonna stay dry. It's not gonna get wet at all. The waters aren't gonna start to fall in on you as you walk through. Don't worry. He just said go, right? They weren't given step-by-step instructions. Like, we look at it like that now. We know now that the waters parted, the ground was dry, they were able to walk through, and then once they all got to the other side, then God closed the rivers, the waters on the Egyptian army. Like, we know that now. They didn't know that then. They didn't know that that was how it was going to be. They had to step out in faith. And they saw the sea part. That had to take some faith to go through a parted sea. Like, they literally saw the sea on either side of them. They were walking through it. Yes, they were on dry ground, but can you imagine, like, thinking, like, is this going to stay like that? They had to trust God. Moses had to trust God. And God's plan was in that thing. Now, what brought to my mind as I was reading that, and I always love this, it's in Exodus, okay? It's in chapter 14. And this is after, Pharaoh let the Egyptians go, finally, right? After all the plagues, he finally let the Egyptians go. And they were free. Okay, guys, they were free. God delivered them, like, out of the hand of the Egyptians. They were free, right? And so they got out into the desert, and they were afraid because they just really didn't know how God was going to take care of them out there, how they were going to eat, how they were going to drink, blah, 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 blah. And here they go with their mouths, blah, 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 complain, and said to Moses, you should have just left us there. Did you bring us out here because there were no graves in Egypt? Like, you brought us out here to die? Like, yeah, that's what God did. He delivered you from bondage to bring you out somewhere to die. Like, just think about how ridiculous that sounds. But doesn't that sound like us sometimes? Like, when God continually shows his goodness, continually shows his faithfulness, continually rescues us, and we still think that the next thing he's not gonna take care of it. Oh, well, obviously now I'm here, now what's gonna happen? Something worse is gonna happen. No, that's not his nature. But that's what they were doing. And they were complaining to Moses about it. And Moses probably felt the weight of that, felt a little pressure because he was the one, communing with God. He was like the go-between at that point. And he went to God, and he's like, God, like, what do I do? Like, they're getting on me. What do I do? And the Lord said to Moses, this is in verse 15, why do you cry to me? Tell them to go forward. Again, he didn't want to hear about it. He wasn't concerned with what they thought he wasn't going to do. He wasn't concerned with how it looked to them. He said to them, go forward. Don't come crying to me, sobbing to me. Tell them, go forward. Keep going forward. I brought you here. Do you think I brought you here to end it? Do you think I brought you here to die? Do you think I brought you here and now it's just over? Go forward. You don't need to see the whole picture. You don't need to know every step. You don't need to know all the details. All you need to know is me, how much I love you, how much I care for you, that I have good plans for you. Go forward. And then he instructed Moses to lift up the rod, to part the sea, and to tell them to go through on dry ground. And that was Moses' faith to do what God said. He had to obey what God said. And when he obeyed what God said was going to happen, happened. And then the children of Israel marched through the sea on dry ground, like how we know it now. Like, when we read that, when we've read that since we were little, like, oh, of course the sea parted and the people walked through, and it was just normal for them to know that this was going to be okay. They did not know that was going to be okay. They had to go by faith. They had to just be like, okay, we're going to do this. And God was telling that to me, sometimes, guys, the plan is in the sea. Doesn't mean the plan, like the problem, the hard thing, was created so that God could make the plan happen. No, he can use anything. And so don't get distracted by the sea. Don't get distracted by the thing that seems like it's going to overtake you. No, usually say, God, show me right now in this place where, you know, the world might say, this is going to end you. This is going to be unstoppable. You can't get over this. This isn't going to be a good outcome. God, you show me, what's your plan right now in this sea? Show me. And he might just say, go forward. Just keep going forward. Let my Holy Spirit lead you forward. Go forward. Because we know that once they went forward, not only did he get them over to the other side, but he stopped the enemy. He got the enemy right where he wanted them. Right in the middle of where they could not escape, where they could not come back, where he didn't just stop them and say, well, turn around so that they could find another way to go get, oh, no. He stopped that enemy once and for all from ever touching them, from ever reaching them. They couldn't, right? And they didn't need to know all that. They just needed to trust him and to go forward. And so like when everything happened yesterday, where I knew it was kind of happen. Like it wasn't like a surprise to me in a way, but it almost felt like, you know, when this platform, not Telegram, but like when Facebook said, okay, you don't want to comply with us, then you don't speak no more. Well, isn't that the devil? Isn't that just him to make himself look like he does have the power, like he can stop you from speaking? He can stop what God has planned. No, he can't. Absolutely not. He can make it look like, oh, look, Nicole, like, you know, God showed you to start this group. God told you to do it, and now it isn't gone, you liar. Because I'm still speaking. People are still speaking. You can't shut me up. You can't stop me from telling the truth. Because God did call me to do that. And I will do that. If I have to get out on my front porch and talk to the people that drive by, I will do it. God will always make a way. Because that is his plan. He put that in my heart. I didn't put that in my heart, but it's in my heart because I love him. And I know how good he is. And I know what he's brought me through because that's just what's in his word. And he's no respecter just of me. It's for everybody. And he did put that in my heart. And I won't let a platform stop that from happening. But the devil tried yesterday to kind of, you know, get my emotions involved. And no. And I had good people around me reminding me, no, this is just, okay, we're going this way now. Because God wasn't thrown off by that. He's like, don't cry out to me. Go forward. I'm right with you. I've always been with you. I knew about Healed and Whole on Facebook this is him saying, before you even knew about it, Nicole. He knew about that. He knew about where it's going now. He knows where it's going next. I really don't know, but I know he's telling me go forward. Because this is bigger than me. This is bigger than Facebook. This is bigger than anything. This is about getting his word out and setting people free so that they can know the truth. And wherever he leads me to do that, that's where it's going to be. And it's going to be anointed. It is anointed by him. It's blessed by him. And the devil can't stop it at all. And I just want to encourage you today that the plan could just be right in the sea. Don't let that threaten you. Don't let that discourage you. You go before God and get excited and say thank you that even in the sea, you have a plan. And your plan is to redeem me. Your plan is to set us free because Jesus already did. Your plan is to prosper me. Your plan's only good. The plan was in the sea, and the sea had nothing to do with God's plan getting carried out. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. He wasn't concerned that they were crying out to him. He wasn't concerned that they were, you know, oh, I guess we're here to die. No, go forward. Shh, go forward. Go forward. That's it. Go forward. And so now that's my message for you. That's my message for me. In this group, we go forward. And that's all we do. We just keep going forward. It was a blip. Anything else in our life? It's a blip. Nope, we go forward. Thank you. Oh, devil, did you try? Sorry, no. We go forward, right? So I hope that encourages you. This was a little bit longer today because I kind of wanted to just share a little bit about, you know, what's going on. But that, I really believe God showed that to me a little early because he knew that it was going to apply to this. And I believe it will encourage you. And he's just so good. He's so good. And I'm excited. I'm so excited because I know just bigger and better is coming to get the word out there even in a bigger way. than I even know right now. But I've given him my yes, and I continue to give him my yes, and I will never shut up because Evan said it. The devil messed with the wrong person when he thought he was going to shut me up. Sorry, not happening, right? Not happening. So I hope you guys have a blessed day, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.